นะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะพุทธังสรณังคัจฉามิธัมมังสรณังคัจฉามิสังฆังสรณังคัจฉามิ Good evening, friend in the Dhamma. We are here again for the program Friend in the Dhamma from England. So my name is Ajahn Lau Panyasiri from Wat Mahathat from England. So we are here. I would like to invite our monks from another country. I think he is now in Poland. Okay, just would like to make sure he is in a good good order. Yeah. Good evening, Bhante Panya Vachiro.
Good evening, sir. Good evening.
How are you?
I'll let you know in half an hour.
What time is it now?
17 minutes past 9.
Okay, sorry for delay because I got so difficult to deal with my computer. So we are going to talk something today with very short, maybe not that short, but it's quite good to talk about their life as a first in life as a family, and second a married life. In other words, it's how can be good member of the family as a husband and wife. And I got to the guest as well today who know about married life because he's married man. So you were married and then you were lay, but you can give your suggestion. So today, welcome Nick.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Hello, sir.
Thank you, man, for being our guest today. Nick. Bhante Panya Vachiro. Where are you now?
In Magdalenka, in a forest in Poland.
Can you tell me briefly about where exactly the place and what you are doing there? What are you doing there?
It's southwest of the city of Warsaw, and it's a forested area. So the garden here is actually part of the forest. Yeah, it's very quiet, except for the fact that we have 3 children. one of whom is rather difficult to say the least.
So you got 3 grandsons, yeah?
Yes.
You have to look after them, yeah?
From 3 years old till 8 years old.
Right. Okay. What about your son? Is he there doing his job, or how they lead their family?
My son Mark is a director of a company in Warsaw, in the city.
Right.
So he's there and here quite often.
Right. So for your experience of family man, I use the word family man because after you left your life, your wife is she left you. I mean, she passed away. Yeah, it was many years back, and now you live by yourself. And of course, you spend your time with your son and on your grandchildren. During the time that pandemic, the lockdown, or over a year now, the first time you has gone to your son place in Poland.
Yes.
Now, yes, I would. The question today we've been asked about married life, about family life. Before we go to Nick, I would like you to explain what exactly bring the idea of this married life to talk today?
Well, I obviously have been married and had a successful marriage. I have two natural sons of my own, and I am watching how their marriage has developed. It starts off with mutual attraction, physical attraction, and then when they get married, things change over the years, and you become more loyal towards each other. And I'm watching it happen in real life now. So it's quite interesting to see. I feel that my success as a father and a husband was something that's gone forward, and my sons have adopted much the same sorts of attitudes. It's nice to see happy children, happy husband and wife, and really the fact is that the Buddha laid down ideas of what people should be like towards each other. And although he had them many centuries ago, they're ideas which are relevant right up to this moment. I mean, the equalness of man and wife, no one being superior to the other, the sharing of all of the decisions and of the moving forward in life, so that each person, the man and wife, are equal in all respects. And I just like that. The fact is that the Buddha laid that down as a prerequisite for a good married life, and various other factors which in Western society are missing. Or, well, okay, maybe not always missing, but I think a lot of the time it is. And of course, marriage today doesn't really mean that you necessarily have a certificate. People live together happily for their lives, with or without a certificate. Yeah, it's changed, but only sort of officially changed. Marriage has always been a commitment from one person to another, and the reverse. So that hasn't changed. We commit to each other. And then when I stand back and look as a father and as a psychologist, and now as a Buddhist, I see the changes, and in these two families that I've got, I like them. They are doing the things really that the Buddha lays down without knowing that they're doing them. Loyalty towards each other is a very big factor, and it's very nice to see. So yeah, why not talk about it? Why not?
That's very good suggestion for that.
Yeah.
Nick, can you look at the in Buddhism? Before I ask to Nick, there are types of the husband. There are even 7 types of husband.
Yes.
And there are 7 types of wife.
Yes.
Yeah. So you see, I would like to say that different type of husband. I don't like to talk in the Pali language, but in English, say it's very easy to say the husband is like the murder, yeah. And second one is something like the other like a thief. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
One like a murder, then a murderer, and then like a thief, and one like the boss.
Yes. Yes.
control your life. Yeah.
Yes.
And the other one is like your brother or your father. Yeah. And
Yeah.
the other one is like your slave, like servant.
Yeah.
Anyhow, that
But you
is type
see,
of
to me, all of those
yeah.
7 types of each are irrelevant. They I mean, the ideal man-wife situation is not shown by any one of those 7 different sorts of people.
No.
So yes, the Buddha is very good at teasing out the failures of people because of their personality or temperament or whatever. He's very good at that. And it's a very good warning for people who are thinking about getting married to look out for any one of these 7 different sorts of people, whether you're male or female. It's irrelevant. The fact is that the Buddha lays down them a bit like he lays down the people to watch out for as friends. What
Yes.
sorts of friends? Well, it's the same. So, I mean, knowledge is power. I keep saying this. And if you're looking at a husband or as a wife, and she belongs to one of these particular sorts, types, then you at least know about it before you tie the knots, before you become absolutely locked together. So yeah, it's very good to know. But I mean, the ideal situation is equality and loyalty between it towards each other and between each other. And but it does mention equality very often, actually.
Well, I would like to ask our guest today, Nick. Nick going to be here for another day, going home tomorrow. We ask all of us wear the scarf, Buddhist scarf, which is this WBDO. We are working for Buddhism in England and also for the world. As a family man, you're married now and you have got one son. And can you describe and explain briefly about married life and how to be a good husband, or how to have a good wife, or how to live with the couple life without any trouble? And that is something maybe too much to ask, but it's maybe good to see from your opinion. And thank you man for coming to join your knowledge. Okay.
Well, my relationship to my wife Sarah has changed significantly over the last 2 years since I started practicing. Listening to the 7 types, something just popped into my head. When I first met my wife, it's just before I was going to join the army. It was a whirlwind romance. It was very quick. And I was listening to what you said about the 7 types, the father.
Yes.
I was joining a regiment, an army regiment, which her father had been in, and me and him are very similar characters. So I feel like unwittingly Sarah has chose one of these 7, and our relationship has been up and down. When I was in the army, I got quite badly injured and I couldn't walk, but I didn't realise it was the stress as well. We have had good times and we've had bad times, but she stood by me through all those times. But now, since I've started practicing Dhamma, now it's my turn to look after Sarah during this pandemic. I've become a lot calmer. I'm actually happy in myself, where I live in London and everybody is unhappy, whereas before I was unhappy and everybody was happy. So I kind of feel like we switched. But the relationship we have is more of a partnership where we share things, we share ideals. Although I'm not teaching her Buddhism, I'm teaching her Buddhism.
Right.
Like with the pandemic, nothing can last forever. Everything's impermanent.
Right.
And everything will be back to normal. And Sarah's morale has actually been improved by this. Whereas her sisters in their other relationship are suffering at the moment because everybody's restricted. And it's all down to the Dharma. I've just practice, and at some stage, she will learn more about Buddhism.
That's very good. You see, I would like to identify the 7 types of the wife, and you think of how you relate to your yourself, Panya Vachiro, and also how you look at your partner. For example, the first one is Vataka Pariya. It means the wife who being as a person who not at all in a good heart, like to do something disturb you, and also have a thought of killing the husband, and sometimes have an affair. That another one type of wife. Second is Chori Pariya. Chori means thief. Yeah. The wife who make themselves more or less like the thief, enjoy using your finance and make a lot of debt to be paid. It doesn't matter how much that you give to them, to her, and not at all enjoy and happy and spend the money, and also make your life is in very bad and destroy your title and make your life is miserable, because because of your wife, it turned to be more or less like a thief. And the other one is number 3, is the wife that who practice like Aya Pariya. Pariya means wife. Is become like a boss, like to control husband, and husband have to listen to her all the time. Listen to me, you must be under my control. Yeah, that another wife with, and this is number 3. And number 4, number 4 is Mata Priya. This wife is behave herself like your mother, who care and love the husband very much and look after, and only think of what happened with him when he not well, whatever I would like to look after when he not well, I look after him, everything. So that is and number 5 is Pakini Pariya, like a mother, like a sister. So this is something that you may, my husband, I have to make sure that he more or less is my brother, and also she behave herself like a sister, and because she respect the people and member of the family, especially your mother, father, and listen to them nicely, and have very good thought about husband. And another tool is we call Saki Pariya, like a friend, and that is like behave herself like a friend. And when you are enjoy wherever you go, and she enjoy being with you. And the last one is Tasi Pariya, the wife that who practice herself and behave herself more or less like the slave and under your control. There is no argument. Listen to you only. Do the job. So all of this, Panya Vachiro. what you see, Nick, when you see all of this? What have you look at your wife and how you look at yourself?
I figured Sarah out, sir. She's 3.5. She's the
3.5.
She's the boss that cares for me, but she doesn't care too much because she likes to boss me. But she says it's for my own good, though. But we have had a few rows like that quite recently, where she gets a bit bossy, and when I speak back, I use right speech, but we get to the root cause of it, like Buddhism, and it caused a bit of friction at first. But Ajahn Chah said, your moods are like living with a cobra, and I've controlled my moods, but I'm not living with Sarah's cobras. So she cares for me a lot, but she likes to be bossy as well. But it's a great relationship.
Right. So Panya Vachiro, when you look at that 7 type of wife, and what type of the what you see the wife like that, don't forget the husband are the same, yeah, exactly the same. So
just a reflection.
Yeah, just opposite, yeah.
Yeah, just reflections
Some
of each other.
Some husband also, don't forget what type of husband you are, as the first one and the slave, or the boss, or brother, father, yeah,
Right.
or those who like to be the thief and also the murder. So all of these are exactly the same. 7 type of husband and 7 type of wife. when you look at it, how you identify this in society.
I find it really very difficult to put either of us in any of those particular categories. To be honest, I think that my wife was a very successful businesswoman when I met her. I was a very successful businessman, and when we decided to be together before marriage, I think that yeah, well, I see, when you've got two very tough people together, then you have got to make you either stay together because you want to be together, or you move apart. Now, if I had a wife that dominated me continuously, it wouldn't last 5 minutes. If I were a man that dominated my wife, it wouldn't last 5 minutes. As for thieving, well, that's that's spending money illicitly. Well, neither of us actually wanted to spend money very much. We're much too interested in what we're doing to keep on spending money on silliness. So a bit difficult, to be honest, a bit difficult. I believe that the one thing that the Buddhas, these people, can have towards each other is a sense of loyalty, real loyalty, consideration for the other all the time, not just occasionally. And I don't think that there's much need for argument. My parents used to argue day and night, and I often went to bed wondering whether I would wake up for one or other than being dead the next day. A very unpleasant situation. But I think when you look carefully at the Buddha's words in many different places, when we talk about loving kindness and the like, I think those overcome. They more than overcome. They dominate completely. Loving kindness, I'd rather say goodwill, metta. When you have goodwill towards each other, metta, compassion towards each other, this sympathetic joy that I don't really like the idea of. It doesn't seem to say very much to me, but actually being pleased for the other's successes, and helping out during times of failure, and a sort of even-minded way of looking at each other. When you've got that, it really doesn't matter what sort of temperament you've got, because it all levels out. It all levels out. You have to remember that marriage is the sort of cornerstone for all relationships. I mean, everything we do in society is one big set of relationships throughout the world. Big set of relationships. But the core of them all has always been a marriage, or a coming together, a family. I'd rather use the word family. Family is the core for all of what goes on in society. And so when you practice the Buddha's metta, karuna, whatever, you practice them all together and genuinely practice them towards each other, all of these other things, they cancel themselves out. I mean, Nick is seeing that the way that the Dhamma helps you understand yourself, understand the other people around you. It helps you find ways of being together happily. He's learned that this last, goodness knows how many weeks he's been around. So it will change his life and his wife's life, just because he knows about it, because then he can put his finger on it. This is goodwill towards each other. This is loyalty towards each other. This is compassion. This is that joyfulness that you feel. I mean, you know, your opposite partner has done something really, really good, and you're really happy for them. And being happy for them, of course, you're being happy for the family. And this equanimity, this sort of even-mindedness that sort of envelops all the lot, it's a sort of, it just cancels out. It just cancels out, because your family grows exponentially. Your family grows in a way that everyone in the family is good towards each other. I'm going to be invaded in a moment by a little 3-year-old if I'm not careful. He'll probably knock everything onto the floor. So if you suddenly see the ceiling, you'll know why. But many years ago, there was a work done by a man called an anthropologist, a man interested in people. And he was in Africa. And what he did was he got a big bucket of fruit. And he put the fruit near a tree. Then he went to the children of that tribe and said to them, the person that gets to the fruit first can have the sweetest fruit. And do you know what the children did? They held each other's hands and ran to this fruit, which was, you know, something they didn't get very often, ran to this fruit together. And they sat round the fruit with their feet up against the circular thing, this bucket thing, all together. And they shared the fruit between them. When they were asked why they'd run together, because, you know, the person who got there first would have had the best fruit. Ubuntu. It means, how can I be happy if anyone else is sad? So they go and they share it. Now, that's human.
Right.
How can I be happy if everyone else is sad? Ubuntu. No, and I remember that particular experiment very well, because it just shows the reality of humanity that lives together happily and peacefully.
Okay.
And that's the same sort of thing in the family.
Okay.
You know, there is no competition. You move together, move forward together. And that is the most important thing of all.
Well, I understand. I believe somebody also agree with our idea, your idea, especially Kuladawan Wilson say a good married couple need to respect individual and complement each other.
That's
That is
right.
important. Yeah, that's very good. She said
No
that.
difference, no
No,
boss,
yeah,
no
that is
slave.
really good. Respect each other. That's important. Yeah, I agree with you, Nick. As you are a family man now, and then you are very good. We we know that with the married, early married, and in the beginning of married life, and now in your pandemic period, you know that you change, and your wife also recognize you're changing a lot in a better way. So what exactly help you to suggest whoever or how to use your skill or being a husband in a good way to make the shape of the family life in a good shape, in a good direction?
Well, first of all, with your help, both your help, I fixed myself. What was important was meditation every day.
Right.
Every day I meditated, and then it's the calm it gives you, but it teaches you patience. You know, married couples are quick to argue. It's better to just say nothing when it gets heated. I mean, right speech, you know, it's important, but as couples develop, they kind of sort of like keep score against one another. You said this to me, I said this to you. It's not worth it. Whilst we was in the pandemic, we have got a good relationship, but I think anybody's relationship would be tested in London if they've been locked up for 6 months. And I'm quite happy to sit at home, but my wife's quite a social person, and she
Yes.
struggled quite badly with it. But although I said to her, like, we will not watch the news every day for 10 minutes because they're just conditioned. It's fear. But the important thing that I was putting across with my practice was the impermanent nature of things. This cannot last forever, and you know, look at it as a positive rather than a negative. There must be something you can learn or do while we're off, and I'm just encouraging her and just showing her love, really, rather than arguing with her. That's it. These are quite simple things, but people forget them because it's especially in London, it's all rush, and I find that the problem with London is everybody's rushing too much. They work hard to buy things that they don't need, to give gifts to one another. Why just the proper gift is metta. If you was to just talk to one another rather than sitting there with your mobile phone on your lap and just engage with one another and listen to people, you would understand what they really wanted out of life, and then you could then help develop your own relationship, because most couples don't listen to one another, you know.
That's very good. After your experience in your uh, pandemic time, you know that everything changed in a better way. Panya Bashiro, when you look at the family life and couple, the good shape of the family, how can you suggest or give advice apart from oh that is very good, isn't it?
They'd
Oh,
warn you.
I think okay. This how the own way come. Never mind. Say, so are you alright to talk briefly, or you
Yes.
prefer me continue?
No, carry on.
Yes. Well, because all of this is quite important to look at it, because you've been family man after many years before you be by yourself, and after that you use your Dhamma as a Buddhist monk to give some advice to the people. I ask you too, because you've been married, you've been one the Nick is married now and stay with his family. And Panya Vajiro, he passed his in the past he been married and got the children and got grandson to look after, and being part of the family somehow go in and out. Um, as the figure of the society, figure of the model, the good member of the society and married life, how can you give very good suggestion or advice? How can be a good husband or good wife between both of you? So I give one is about 2 or 3 minutes. Okay, Panya Vachiro first, please. Yeah.
Well, Nick mentioned arguments, disagreements. I think you need to realise that. Yes, all right, sunshine. I think you need to realise when you're a married person that actually, what are we arguing about? I mean, it can be anything from going on holiday to having a meal to the colour of a room, anything. What does it matter? Does it really matter? I mean, I have a room here which is very large but completely wrecked, especially by this particular little thing. Very difficult to walk from one area to another. Am I going to become angry because I've just stubbed my toe on a toy or whatever? What's the point? No. I think you've got to realise that actually everything is impermanent, including yourselves. And the idea that there's a need for an argument actually negates itself once you start realising that actually nothing like that matters. What matters is being together. It's being happy together. It's doing things together so that you feel good. It's a matter of not really bothering what colour the wall is. I may not like purple and she may like purple. Well, so what? Does it really matter? Not really. I can look the other way. Same with all this going on here now. I can look the other way.
Okay, Nick, as a man who I must say you are a success in your married life because you've been respect and also look after each other very well. How many years you been together?
23 years.
23 years. So you can see, because when you are in a married life and you recognize your married life is very, very good. It was not that good in the past, but now it's very good now. And when you use the Dhamma in while you are practicing. Can you just suggest what is the best of the family couple should stay together and make it together in a better shape, and as your experience, and then you can give their advice, because some of them who live in the society now they are more or less quite difficult to cope with their problems. So because you might be have a problem before, and now from the past up to now 28 years, so all of this, can you look at it how you manage and also continue your family life in a better shape, very good way, how you use it as a Dhamma or whatever you think is good to suggest to people?
Yes, sir. One of the things I've noticed from reading the stories about the Buddha is he was a good listener. And when my wife is upset because she was tested because she couldn't see her parents, it's just to listen and to use wisdom to sort of like help her. To sit down and discuss what she's feeling. It's all about people's feelings at the moment. And Sarah took that quite hard about her mum and dad not being able to see her. And I was just there for her. But, you know, with the relationship, a sense of humour, not to make things too serious. But then I also slip my little ones in, like, you know, this won't last forever. Everything's impermanent. We should be, you know, a bit more positive. Look at this with a bit of wisdom. You know, what turned out to be quite stressful we ended up having quite a good laugh. We've grown actually closer during the pandemic, where I've noticed this with my wife when she did meet up with her sisters, and they all discussed what had happened about the pandemic over the past. She just came in and gave me a hug and a kiss. That meant that we've done all right, and something's happened in one of the other families. But you know, it's just through my practice of just being sort of mindful and respectful. Not that I ever was not respectful. It's just sometimes I was a bit impatient, and the only way I can I've trained my mind coming to King's Bromley, and you've both shown me. You've just helped me so much. I'm able to tame my mind. And
very good, very good. First thing you have to do, tame your mind. Very good. Oh my goodness. You know, you tame your mind, and then you can do something with it later. Very good. I love that, actually, Nick.
Thank you,
I like that a lot.
As amazing monk, as you see, yeah. Panyavachiro is a very good example in many ways that you admire him a lot. Panyavachiro, can you also give, can you think of the best way or suggest the people in society? Because again, you also been very loyal to your wife when she was alive, and until she passed away. Panyavachiro know that, and she is very one of the best women that you met. That if you look at it, and the mother of your sons. So if you see the people who are in difficulty in life, in especially married life, how can you give them encourage to be a good couple and good, because we as a Buddhist monk, we don't want to see the people come to the temple and ask, oh, what can I do that my wife run away and my husband run away, and we have big argument, all of this all the time. So after many years we heard all of this story, but for you, both of you have very good more the good sample of our community family. First, you married one and your wife passed away. And second, you've been together for many years. I learned from English society and many society who have said 1/3 of the marriage is broken. So because of that, and then how can you keep what sort of the advice you think can keep the family last for longer and also in better shape? Yeah, Panyavachiro.
Well, if you're talking about it like that, one person, one member of this family has got to take themselves in hand and try and understand the other member of the family better, their point of view, their personality, what makes them tick, as it were. But, trying to understand another person when you're married isn't always that easy, because they can be very different. Why the argument? What point was in the argument? What was the point of the argument? It's more than just impermanent, it's fleeting. It's here 1 second, gone the next. What difference does it make which point of view is right? What difference? Well, actually, your ego. Too much holding on to the self, me and mine, ego. And when you start realizing that this ego that we have, this need that's been developed in us by our interactions with the greater society at school and later at work and the like, you have to realize that there's no place for ego in a family. A joint ego, okay, but individual ego, no. and you have to learn to lead by as a role model. In other words, I mean, if you have children, you can't say, "Oh well, a man asked me the other day, how do I encourage my children to read more? But I don't read very often. I don't like it." Well, how do you encourage your children to read? Well, actually, by reading yourself, by leading by example, and you just have to do this. I mean, without leading by example, nothing will occur. What you say and what you do are very contradictory sometimes, and children don't listen to what you say; they mimic what you do, always. So actually, a family who has children who fail at the end of the day are responsible for the children's failures. Not, "Oh, you're a naughty person, you're a bad person." No, but because you have not, that family, the parents have not behaved properly in front of the children. And it's no good going and waiting until for an argument when they've all left the room or whatever, because the children know. So you just plain do not argue. What's the point? What is the point? There is no point, because it's here one minute, gone the next. Life moves on and on and on. Just a long string of events. And the arguments in the middle, they're worthless. I learned that by watching my own parents.
Thank you very much, Panya Vachiro and also Nick. The time is up now. We are going to spend only 45 minutes. And if we start late, normally we start from 9 to 10. And because we will start late and we'll finish by 45 minutes. Well, thank you very much, both of you. It's very good that you give some very good advice for the family, especially those who are together. Have to be able to knock down the ego. I like the idea, because if you are not you use the word respect here. I mean, everybody knows they're supposed to respect each other. But finally, the idea is you shouldn't really have so much ego to beat each other. It's my right on the time. That can damage the other feeling, the other person feeling. So thank you very much, all of you, both of you who are here today, and thank you very much for watching the program. And I would like to wish all of you who are listening to the program this evening and will also see the program, receive the blessing from all of us. Be well, be happy, be free from suffering, be free from hatred, from hurtfulness, from troubles of body and mind. Stay in good health. Abhivadana silis nitjang uttha pajayino yattaro dhamma vattanti ayu vanno sukhang phalang. Thank you, Panya Vachiro. Thank you, Nick.
Thank you. Good night to you all.
See you, amazing monk.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Bye then. Bye.